Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Feed Your Brain. On this episode we're going to be talking about the sun. So let's get right into it. The sun is made out of many layers. They're all made out of a substance known as plasma. Plasma is another type of matter. If you remember the three stages of matter, they are liquid, solid, and gas. Plasma is actually the fourth type. It's almost like a gel. And plasma is what makes up the entirety of the sun. The layers of the sun are the corona, the chromosphere, the photosphere, the radiation zone, and the core. Let's start with the corona, not the coronavirus for your information. The corona is the outer layer of the sun. For some reason, and scientists don't know exactly why, the corona is one of the hottest layers of the sun, reaching temperatures about 1 million degrees Celsius. The corona is the part that you have to watch out for when a solar eclipse is happening. You know how the moon goes in front of the sun and there's still a ring of light that's from the sun that you can still see? Yeah, that's the corona. And that's also why you have to wear glasses, because that still hurts your eyes if you look at the corona. Next we have the chromosphere, which comes from the Latin word chromo, which means color. This is because the sun's chromosphere has sort of a red hue to it when you look at it. And then we have the surface of the sun, the photosphere. This is where light from the core gets out and comes to Earth, where you see it with your eyes and everything. The term photo comes from the Greek root photos, which means light. And sphere, probably know what that means. Next we have the radiation zone, or the radiative region. This is where activity is slightly less active than the core of the sun. This is also where light has to travel to get to the surface of the sun, which is the photosphere. And last we have the core, which is, well, the core of the sun. The core is where the fun happens. In the core, hydrogen atoms are smashed together to make helium atoms in a process that's called nuclear fusion. With this, the sun generates heat, and this is why the core of the sun is about 27 million degrees Celsius. And then light is of course produced because of the heat and temperature. And because the radiative zone is so big, light actually takes, what you would think, a second to travel through the radiative zone. However, it doesn't, because the radiative zone is actually so cluttered with plasma that the photons of light actually take much longer than a second, almost up to 100,000 years, just to travel the radiative zone. It almost acts like a ping pong, if you know what I mean. And then light reaches the photosphere, where it then goes to Earth and eventually reaches someone's retina. Then we have solar flares. These are sort of like plasma flares that are emitted by the sun. These flares are incredibly powerful and the size of planets. Another thing that's the size of planets, more or less, are sunspots, which are, well, spots in the sun that are cooler than other areas of the sun. These can be as cool as about 3,000 degrees Celsius. Next we have the magnetic field, which is very important for the sun. The magnetic field is what protects the planets and the solar system from types of radiation. These types of radiation can be things like gamma rays, and these are incredibly dangerous to life on Earth. The magnetic field is called the heliosphere, and we'll talk about that in later videos. And then we have finally a CME, or coronal mass ejection. These are released by the sun and can cause widespread electrical damage on planets like Earth. And as recently as 2012, a CME passed Earth's orbit that could have knocked out human technology for almost 10 years. Luckily, the Earth was on the other side of where the CME hits. However, because of the sun's rotation, if this would have happened just 9 days prior, we would have probably lost a lot of our technology and barely be recovering. A fun fact about the sun is that when you see the sun, that's actually what it looked like 8 minutes before, because it takes roughly 8 minutes for light to travel from the sun to Earth, which means that all of those romantic scenes in movies and maybe some that you've had yourself, yeah, that sun in the background already happened 8 minutes ago. Anyways, that'll be it for this video, everyone. I hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, then leave a like, and if you like the channel, then subscribe and turn on notifications so you get notified for whenever I post a new video. Anyways, that'll be it for this video. I'm Nick, and my goal is to feed your brain.